So, welcome to this episode of Stocks to Buy in March. And I remember I did this episode or this series actually I think a couple of months ago. I was not so continuing this kind of series, but I can't wait to tell you exactly which stocks I think are great to buy in February for March and onwards. First of all, you know that I'm a long-term investor, so I'm having a very long view. Second, I will tell you why exactly now it's a great time to buy. And then third, I want to stay in my niche. My niche is, finding disruptive and innovative consumer companies, because I can just perfectly understand the product, I can test the product, and you can do too. I mean, this is exactly what I'm teaching out there. We could find Tesla together. I talked a lot about Tesla, and Tesla was such a success. Space is the same. When you were early with me, you could make just a couple of months more than 200% on your investment. So there's a really much nice confirmation about that. And even if you look even more back, right, my very first stock that I bought was actually Apple stock, because I just thought, well, the iPhone is so superior to every mobile phone out there, and this is a great company to be in, right? So you see very early on, and this was like 15 years ago or something, so you can see here that there is really a method and a pattern here. And I didn't know back then that it could be named the X10 stock strategy that I'm preaching on X10masterclass.com. Check out my video course, exactly how I'm choosing stocks, what I'm looking for, where I get my news from, everything in more than 100 video episodes that you can watch anytime you have time to make you a better investor, plus access to our Discord for life. Yes, you heard it right. Lifetime access, okay? So check it out on X10masterclass.com and get your discount with 10 space right now. Let's dive into the first stock. The first stock is a stock that was the best performing stock over the last decade, from 2010 to 2020. Okay, and we are talking about Netflix, and I'm sure that 80% of you out there are paying every single month to Netflix some amount, and this was representing a huge gain into revenue over the last couple of weeks. The Q4 earnings were so dramatically good, not only because the people tend to spend more time at home during the winter months, but also the health crisis and the lockdowns let the people stay and watch more Netflix. And guys, Netflix is an amazing product. I mean, the quality of content gets better. They want to put every single week in this year a blockbuster movie out there. And I mean, the blockbuster movies are now meanwhile with big actors like George Clooney, for example. So you can see here, they have this content is king philosophy, really nice implemented. They spend billions and billions and billions of dollars into content. Disney Plus is maybe nice, and they have all the rights about Marvel, Star Wars, and so on. But what is really missing is the sheer quantity of content. And even now, I mean, I'm sitting sometimes in front of Netflix and just scrolling for minutes and minutes to find something to watch. So we are seeing that this is the trend to go with very big quantity into the content market, and the others have to catch up. And obviously, you see maybe more and more subscribers of Disney Plus, but it's like the first it got released, so many people subscribe, and then you will see that the subscribers growth will stagnate or even flat out. So you will see that content will be so important for the streaming world. And let me tell you a history. Netflix actually started to be a DVD rental company. Yes, you heard right, a physical DVD rental company. And even back then, they discovered that, okay, now we have the DVD, so we can send out cheaper. So what is our concept? We do a flat rate, we send those DVDs out, and once you send this DVD back, you can get the next one and unlimited. So you can basically, if you want, watch every single day another DVD. by Netflix, so it's unbelievable concept. So then they went into streaming, and the other who not really, you know, innovate, like for example Blockbuster, died out. And let's dive now into the numbers of Netflix. And Netflix absolutely destroyed the earnings, guys, okay? So the Netflix shares on the 19th of January, when the earnings report came out, was absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at those numbers, okay? Earnings per share 119 versus 139 expected, which is okay, lower than expectation, but now hold your horses. Revenue 6.64 versus $6.626 billion, which is still, you know, very close, but now comes the big surprise. Global paid net subscriber additions. This means, you know, once you having some people, you know, unsubscribe and some people subscribe, the difference is the net, you know, paid additions, which is 8.5 versus 6.47 million expected. 2 million, more than 2 million more than expected. This is absolutely insane. And you can see here from the graphic how the paid subscribers actually grew. Obviously the first quarter of 2020 with the whole thing coming up was one of the biggest one. Also the Q2 was amazing, but the Q4 was absolutely, you know, breaking all the records, and really showed that there is this demand for this kind of product. So I believe that the stock and the company is set up to a very bright future. And with that said, let's dive into our next innovator into a consumer market. Do you remember in the summer of 2020 when Peloton about, you know, you could got a share for about, I think, $76, $80, you know. Meanwhile, we are somewhere around $140. So you can almost double. And I remember those comments out there, hey, that's just a bike with a screen. Hey, they have nothing superior to the market. Hey, I don't use Peloton, so why I should have the stock. So, you know, these comments are very, very nice, and thank you very much for that. But I'm doing so much research that I'm trying to guide you to the other things that you should really work into, okay? So first, Peloton is a content company per se with their own hardware. So they have the software, they have the hardware, and they are just this addictive product where health is getting more and more and more important, all right? When Jeremy from Financial Education started to short this, I said like, this is a very bad idea. Not only shorting in general because the overall market is such a boom, but then shorting a story stock where the money inflows looks for those kind of stories. Second, Peloton has just growth numbers out there. And yes, there's always competition, but there was also competition for Tesla and other stocks and everything. So, you know, I think Peloton is a fantastic brand and a fantastic concept. And they have one single problem, guys, okay? They cannot make enough from their product that people have to wait, and obviously it's very bad, but you know, they didn't expect it, and they didn't have the chance to build up so fast like those people wanted to get, you know, the hands on their product because they're so nice and so viral. So let's have a look into those numbers, okay? Because after the earnings report on the 4th of February, actually the stock make the dive, which is okay because they just gained like so much in the recent months. So actually, they reported fantastic number, okay? So Peloton on Thursday reported quarterly sales growth of 128%. Can you imagine that? So much growth, and they still having so much problem with the delivering of the products, okay? And this is just, they just invested more and more to product facilities where they can produce even more products, which is absolutely fantastic. If there's one problem I want the company to have is, you know, challenging the demand of selling the products, okay? Just not having enough capabilities to produce enough products for the market. This is fantastic, guys, okay? This gives the company so much power and shows so much unbelievable strengths that I'm just super amazed. And also the earnings were fantastic, 18 cents versus 9 cents expected, $1.06 billion revenue versus $1.03 billion, and they're investing in new products and so on and so forth. So it's literally a no-brainer that if they continue this pace, that in some years this will be a company that will be worth, $100 billion, and then $200 billion, and eventually $300 billion, and they are, I think, somewhere around $30 or $40 billion. So very nice team, great balance sheet, a lot of cash to make things happen. Let's dive into the last stock. There is lots of reasons why I think Space is an amazing company. As you know, if you're following, if you're not, make sure to subscribe and like, because this is very important for the channel, and also very important for you. It's that you ring the bell at the subscription button, okay? So this is the small little bell, you just click it, put all notifications on, and you will get informed about every single new daily video that I'm putting out here on this channel. So, Space. Why Space will be so important? I believe that, if you're not in Space, you can be still very early. Even though you missed maybe on a couple of hundreds of gains of profit, this stock is so small. It's so much potential, and we're just getting started, okay? We have on Thursday, after the bell, so after the market close, the earnings. So we will know how many additions of the more astronauts, future astronauts we will have on board. How is the demand going? This will be very important. And then we have also the test flight that any second they could come out with a tweet and saying, we are ready, we are flying this week. So make sure that you understand this catalyst. Space is a big event based stock, okay? There's just a small news. We saw that last week when the stock was just rumored that, or the company was rumored that we are flying maybe, and the stock went 13% up or 12% up. I'm posting this every day on my Instagram, so follow me there, Wolf of Dubai Danny, and also follow me on Twitter, Wolf_investing. I know, not the best username for me, but it doesn't really matter. Just follow me there. I posting there my thoughts and many other stuff when I'm not posting videos here. Okay, so Space, I think we don't have to say anything more, right? I mean, the company is innovative. This company has a huge brand. It has a nice team. And just now we are in the end spurt of this whole story involving, many years we waited for the flight. Now it's the time. There were some delays, also because of the health crisis, guys. The engineers couldn't meet. They couldn't do the test flights on time because there was a lockdown in New Mexico, and then. Okay, so make sure to understand that. Otherwise, I'm sure we would have some more test flights already. However, this allowed us to load a little bit more of the Space stock. So if you haven't yet, consider. This is not financial advice because I am not a freaking financial advisor.